Alrighty, welcome back to the HGC Road to Blizzcon for Southeast Asia. We'll be your casters for this set. I'm Riku. Together with me right now is Babel. How you doing?
Doing good, very excited. The next series is interesting. We got Playstomp up against Detergents. Of course, we're down to the top four teams in the brackets. And the winner of this set is going to face off against Daily Kittens. The winner of that is going to face off against Resurgence in the grand finals. Now, talking about this matchup here, particularly, I like Playstomp a lot. I think that they have a lot of potential as a team. When at the end of Eastern Clash last season, for the Southeast Asian qualifier, when Xcarrick declared to everyone that he's going to leave Meow Park to join in the Thai team, I thought that this could potentially be, a moment for Thailand to come back in to the top few seats in this whole Southeast Asia qualifier. And what happened was we have got Lauda, TNK, as well as Xcarrick. Joining them is, of course, Perez and his Koa. So two Filipino, three Thai, very, very strong team. They will be able to put up a fight. On the other hand, Detergents, what do you feel about them?
Detergents really put up a good fight from yesterday's matches. I mean, they took away games from top seeds from game number one, and their play style, their synergy with the team, very clean, very solid. As I've mentioned from to Jay How earlier in the cast, they seem to have this weakness of how do they play behind. They know how to play behind, but it's just that how do they get around with it in terms of like compositions? It seems like they have to get this early lead for them to actually be comfortable with it, and they seem to be struggling in that sector. So with that said, going back to Play Stomp from earlier, I was actually watching the match because in the background it was Play Stomp versus Pagey and the gang,
Right.
and unfortunately, Pagey did not make it. Play Stomp came up 2-0. Detergents rather came up 2-0, and that is just I'm really excited for this matchup.
I think that right now the scene in Southeast Asia is kind of split, where you have got several top tier teams, Daily Kittens, Resurgence, of course, fall into tier one, and you have got rising underdogs like Detergents as well as Playstomp, and then the rest of Southeast Asia is in like tier two.
Yes.
So I've been told that in Scream, even Corky Bradlove, the team that just got eliminated here, was able to take games off some of these top teams. So the scene here
Wow.
is really kind of close if you think about it. And Playstone versus Detergents, it is going to boil down to the mental state in the next set here, because winner has got a lot more to prove. Loser has got no more chance to prove in 2017, and that's a huge statement right there.
Exactly. A lot is on the line. Road to BlizzCon. We were actually talking about it earlier on how the previous qualifiers were definitely a lot of 2-0s, especially day number one. But the trend still continues on towards day number two, where we always see game number three coming in. And I'm very happy to see that, the scene is growing
Yeah.
every time we see these teams play.
Leveling
Yes,
up very
leveling up.
quickly. I like that a lot. Now, Blaze Detergents, I think on the side Detergents, they've got a veteran. He used to be known as Kinky Fairy. He's now known as Kink. This is ex-caster as well. Miss him on the mic, of course. Great insights and a pro player. He plays support primarily for the team. They've also got Risotto. Risotto's a stable veteran in the scene. He got third place in the last qualifier. This time around, looking to prove things are different. And with a weaker Deadly Kittens and a brand new Resurgence, the question here is, can he prove that he deserves the top seed? We'll see. Pizza Xiao also famous for Stitches as well as
Yes.
Anubarak. I hope that he will have his moments today as we go on into the draft. But before that, let's talk a little bit more about the maps. We do have Detergents banning out Curse Talo. And Curse Talo is a very famous map for his Koa. He
Yes.
plays a lot of Illidan on the map, and it's the main reason. If you see Curse Talo, you see his Koa in the HL region. Please do ban out that Illidan because he is just so effective there. Playstime on the other side, they decide to take out Battlefield of Eternity. That's
Yes.
also the map that we saw Detergents up against Resurgence in a very close game number 2 yesterday. So probably just want to remove that. The first map will be picked by Detergents. It's going to be Brax's Holdout. It's also a map that I think Detergents plays really well.
Yes.
Very tight battleground, not much of a skirmish going on. You have just a standard split lane going in. And by the way, shout out to Xcarrick.
Scarrick.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
I hope that this does not end your journey here. After saying happy birthday, the stream closes
Suddenly,
and he's like,
that's
gone.
sad.
No.
Maybe he's gonna have birthday buffs today.
I hope that his best birthday present is to win his qualifier.
Definitely, if we will see in a while, Braxis hold out for our first map with these two teams, and I kind of want to go back on the Hiskoa thing. Hiskoa on the Illidan. We
Yes.
saw how annoying it was paired with a Tassadar. They're always the only ones left, and they managed to clean up the enemy team. So definitely, I might see these kinds of priority bans or playing around them in terms of like countering what they're good at here.
Exactly. And even in the match just now, we saw Corgi with the first ban Illidan giving a lot of respect to Hiskoa. Here in Braxis, I don't think Illidan is that relevant a pick here for Playstomp. But what I do think is that Playstomp has got a little bit more just, strategy up the sleeve, if you will. They have got that possibility of an Arthur's pick. We'll see. As we go into the draft for game number 1 on Braxis Holdout, it is Playstomp up against Detergents.
Actually, during the first day, Detergents already played Braxis Holdout against Corgi. I was about to say meatloaf, breadloaf rather. And they're the ones that actually banned out Garrosh, and they prioritize banning the Genji right off the bat. But Playstomp definitely don't want Tassadar on the table, as Detergents has drafted Tassadar on day number 1 in this exact map.
All right, so here for Detergents, what do they ban out? Highly likely it's going to be the Oriole. Don't want to give the Oriole over to Playstomp. Do they also want to remove Garrosh? They've just seen a first-hand example of how Garrosh is such a relevant pick for Playstomp in a small battleground like Two Motos by the Queen, Braxis Holdout. There's not much of a difference there.
Yeah.
And the way Lauda played it is just so remarkable. Apart from that, they may also want to consider banning out a Genji. He's got plays Genji as well. And those are two very viable picks for Playstyle, which is why Detergents just taking a little time here to think through what bans they want.
That is true. I mean, Genji was actually played during the qualifiers for Playstomp. Definitely a huge threat, as the easy rotations with the Cyber Agility, with a Swift Strike, and you know what? We're just not going to take that risk. Going to get the Genji out of the way, but that means Oriole is open for the taking for their first pick if they do prioritize that. Although we've seen Oriole fall a little bit off in terms of performance in this day number 2 in comparison to number 1. So we'll see if they're still going to be playing that out. Nope! They got the Garrosh again.
First pick, Garrosh. Man, if only Jehao was here. Jehao is just rooting for Playstomp right now because of the fact that he gets the cast games with Garrosh. Of course, we saw some really good use of Decimate right there. Oh, sorry, not Decimate, Groundbreaker. As well as Into the Fray. You got the Wrecking Ball. You got a lot of displacement from Garrosh. Lauda played it really well. Now, Detergents, they're going to have to wonder what way to try and keep the players safe. Rather, do they want to play Medivh again? Do they want to play another big disjoint like a Bright Wing? Do they want to go for something a little bit more relevant like an Oriole, Lunara? All right, so very, very standard draft here for Detergents. They're just going to go with the Oriole Lunara. And for Red Team, we saw Tyrael getting banned out in the last draft. Do they want to pick up the Tyrael here? Or they want to go for more support-based heroes, which we saw in the last game as well?
It's really smart of them to actually take the Lunara. Not revealing too much, but that opens up, yes, Vala, Lieutenant Morales was actually used by Detergents yesterday on Braxis Holdout. Might be a little bit takeaway, but I've never seen the Lieutenant Morales and Oriole pairing anyway, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah. Well, the thing here is that it could be a deny.
Yes.
Because the amount of heal from the Lieutenant Morales as well as Oriole is going to be too much for Vala to do damage onto. They've got one big field save there, the Aegis. They've got, a staple literal healing fountain. At the same time, you probably don't have enough damage to just outdo there from a single Vala, which is why picking up Morales here is kind of acceptable. There's also some form of synergy there with the Steam Pack and Vala. We'll have to see if Vala goes for the right-click build. But right now, the question here is, does Detergent ban out the Brightwing? Do they want it for themselves? Do they want to go for something a little bit weird like a Tyrande? Or maybe they want to go for the Uther?
I'm surprised Stitch is... Oh, Chromie.
Yeah, makes sense. Xcarrick, his brother, Funny Rock, is the best Chromie player in this region. All he needs to do is ask for his brother to play, and we've got a very challenging game already. But jokes aside, Stitches getting removed purely out of respect for Pizza Xiao.
Definitely.
Chromie removed because of Xcarrot.
Wow, a lot of respect bans going around the table here from Detergents and Playstomp. And both of these teams are actually very skilled in utilizing the Stitches, especially in Braxis. So that's out of the table. But now Detergents is going to be looking at that front line tank that could actually protect Lunara. So what are they going to get? I mean, looking at their picks from last time, they did pick the Stitches. They were the ones in Braxis Holdout that picked the solo Stitches for their front. They picked Falstad also yesterday on this exact same map.
Yeah, Falstad on Braxis Holdout, not the best because, you know, you really want to use Falstad as a global soak mechanic. Flight's pretty cheap, really.
Yes.
Airfare very, very cheap these days. But it's going to be the Medivh on the Brack, looking like it's, again, a protection mechanic for the players on the side. Detergent also could act as a dive. I was thinking a little bit more on the fact that they actually need to dive. Anubrak is a fantastic pick here because of the fact of the Cocoon being able to stop Morales' heals. The other alternative would be going for the Muradin because Muradin has got that little stun. And those little bit of edge can stop Lieutenant Morales from providing a very successful heal there. But I like the Anubrak a lot. The next question here is, does Playstomp go for a secondary tank, or do they want to pick him out of support? Do they want to go for the Brightwing? Very viable options here on the table for Playstomp.
Yeah, definitely for Detergents. And they have the right to actually adjust to that, as they're going to be waiting for whatever Playstomp is going to be picking out for their last 2 slots. They probably need, there goes the Malthel, which they picked last time as well, and the Brightwing Denial, which is good for them to play the draft really well.
I like Malthil in this game because he's going to be able to solo lane pretty well against anyone outside Detergents. I don't think that they will be... They don't have the solo laner just yet, and that's the key question here, that they need to pick someone that can win Malthil. And whoever they pick, if it's a Sonya, it's not going to be easy. Most of the other melee assassins, I think they win, except Thrall. Thrall is the last melee assassin that could probably win against a Malthil. And the question here is, do they want to go for a secondary warrior as well? Because it looks like they don't really have enough damage at this point. You are just banking on the Medivh's Q. You're banking on Lunara to spread the damage, but there's literally no burst. And against a comp with Lieutenant Morales and Brightwing, you need those bursts. That brings one hero to mind. Li Ming.
Li Ming. Interesting. As I look into their DPS comps, they actually play... Is Greymane out of the table? Greymane...
Are you ready, Riku?
I'm ready for that Thrall.
I told you. There's
Nicely
only
done.
one hero that can fulfill both objectives of winning the lane against Malthil and at the same time also dishing up damage. You know, they don't have enough damage. You don't want to really rely on Lunara Medivh, which is what we saw in the first set. Here, they're going for an extra melee assassin. I think Thrall does a good job with some slow. You get some control there as well. He also has got some CC in the form of roots going in.
Yes.
The key question and the key factor here is that with Thrall doing the solo lane, the 4 lane looks to be a lot stronger when you don't have to worry about your single laner. And I'm excited.
Same here, because the thing that I'm worried about is that for your 4 laners, is it enough to actually eliminate? Because that would put, you know, Lunara and Medivh together, correct?
Yes.
So, but that's 2 healers on your side. Might be a little bit difficult to execute, but we'll see. They have a lot of CCs in their hands. I mean, they've got the Anubarak, Burrow Charge, they've got the Impale. So it's just all a matter of execution. There's just a lot of safety on the side of Playstomp, correct?
Yeah, both sides.
Both sides,
if you think
rather.
about it. Okay, we are now loading up into Braxis Holdout in game number 1 of the 3rd series in the lower brackets. Lower bracket semifinals, if you will.
Yes.
And there we go. On the blue team, it's going to be Detergents. And we got Kink playing the Oriole. Meltis will be playing as what looks like a Lunara. Pizza Xiao as the Anubarak. We also got Risotto onto the Medivh. And last but not least, Thrall will be played by Sedia.
All right, on the red side, we got Playstomp. Perez on the Brightwing. Loda on the Garrosh. Loda, Xcarrick on the Vala. And TNK on Lieutenant Morales. In top, we've got Malthale on Hiskoa. Hiskoa on the Malthale, rather. I keep mixing that up.
Yeah. I love it when you say the hero's on a player.
Exactly.
It's very imaginative. Speaks a lot. Risotto with the mastery taunt. On top, the spray is going now. Xcarrick getting some heals coming in. Melty's taking a little bit of damage there. The stun coming from Pizza Xiao, very nicely done. Also disrupts the Groundbreaker. And if you think about it, I like the fact that they've got a Medivh there. That solves the problem of having to dive in. Medivh all of a sudden getting tossed all the way back out there. No Warlord's challenge to try and hold him in place, but the shield being very effective as well to try and keep Risotto alive.
Look at that immense sustain from Playstomp. They can just keep going and going. Same goes for Kick. But then again, you still need to land those damage just to get more hope, more energy for your heals. Meltis, half HP. Look at that. There comes the Impale. Xcarrick super low versus sustain. It's gone. Vala falls.
I like the fact they've got sufficient burst. Looking for another wrecking ball from Lauda, but does not find it. Very, very nice play there by Playstomp. Although the top lane looks like they are slightly below in terms of EXP, but that's okay. And Sadia just chain lining away. Is not supposed to lose the lane, so we'll see.
Definitely. As Detergents melt his very low, it's fine. There's the Oriole Keel coming right up. Vala is alive, so they're going to be resetting the waves right here. Meltis hesitating. Actually wanted to go back to base, but it's okay, as Playstomp will be doing the charge.
Oh, Lauda walking in for the wrecking ball now. Borrow charge on Pizza Xiao, but then again, the Groundbreaker going in. The shield's also active. TNK's mana is very healthy at about 40%, so he's going to be able to heal up quite a lot. You can assume that the 4-man in the bottom side is going towards Playstomp, and top side as well. Malthil winning the lane surprisingly against Sadia.
Yes, sirree. First set of beacons being spawned right there. Nice attainment strike just to buy some time. Lauda looking for that flip. Meltis already 1/4 HP, gets healed back up as Pizza Xiao tries to do the flank. Actually meets Lauda. Meltis very, very low. Xcarrick receiving all the damage in the world. Polymorph on towards the Lunara, but this is a very long exchange.
Pizza Xiao, no more borrow charge. Gets taken up. Perez dropping so low. But a clutch shield there from TNK. Vala does go down because TNK had to change targets to heal. Very nicely done there by Detergents.
Definitely. That is a good exchange. Without Vala, they're not able to contest. Lunar is just receiving a lot of heals from this Oriole. And this time around, it is the beacons charging 54%. But in response to this, look at that. In the top side, Sadia is going to be in trouble. Look at that clutch shield. But it looks like it's not going to be enough.
Nice rift strike there from Hiskoa. Very nicely done on the level 4 fight. As Lauda in the bottom side taking a bit of a damage. Risotto all of a sudden down here already as the bar shot from Pizza Xiao does not connect. Melty's taking a little bit of damage and gets tossed completely out of position from the wrecking ball. The shield's coming in, but Lauda taking a little bit of damage as well. TNK still has got a leash shield going on. Xcarrick also gonna get healed up a little bit. Lauda pulls back once more as Pizza Xiao by and beats his time with a bar charge back out. They're able to just keep themselves safe. Meltis, the shield again. Wrecking ball onto Barak. He does not have a power charge. Will go down. As Lauda with a second Groundbreaker onto Oriole. Keeps him alive still at the end of the day. Is the king.
There we go. 100% already onto Playstomp. They won that one. 68%. Meanwhile, that's still not so bad. Detergents actually struggled in keeping up the damage, but I feel like the synergy between the Medivh and the Oriole Heals is just perfect for Lunara to gain that sort of repositioning just to be safe. But the problem is the sustain of Playstomp as well is just immense. So with that said, 100% they have to deal with the Zergs.
Oh. Sadia. There we go. Nothing much to say there, really. Just a garrosh in your face. So that's about it. One small little point to note is the fact that most teams should know by now that the Banelings does the most amount of structural damage for the first wave, and Melty is completely enveloped there by the Zerg, and Xcarrick also getting tossed out in front to body block the Lunara. Very nicely executed by Lauda. Playstomp looking like they're on a roll here.
Without that CC to actually try and deny, Lauda can just keep walking up to people, just flipping people. And then the body block continues, just finish off the target. It just looks very effortless for Playstomp to execute this kind of composition. And because of that, they've gained 2 levels ahead of Detergents. Still A-okay, but the problem is once they reach level 10, I feel like more action is going to happen.
I think the question here really is, how does Risotto play around this Garrosh, as the Medivh. You really want to make sure that you have your shields up at all time. You want to make sure that you've got a portal up as well. He's picked up the right talent so far. Master's Touch, I think it's still very far from completion. He's got 0 charge. Surprise, surprise. Lauda going into Groundbreaker does not get the target he wants. Pizza Xiao also. I know he's got Barrow Charge, but he's been using it so sparingly that he, more often than not, after his Barrow Charge, Lauda is somehow able to walk up to him and use the Wrecking Ball to get him out of position. And that's his escape already burned.
Definitely knows how to play around with this matchup. Detainment Strike just to push Lauda away, but he's going to be a little bit persistent. He's going to walk up to you once again, but that's just going to be the clears. Kink with a full hope energy. Meltus gets tossed towards the side. Nice heal from Detergents, but look at that chunk of HP being taken away from Playstomp, but getting full HP again because of the double support from Playstomp.
They're just abusing both healers right now. They are really just abusing them. That was a really bad pull, I think, on the Lunara. Still a lot of damage from Meltis, and great saves from Risotto. He's slowly trying to adapt to the pacing from Lauda's Garrosh here. At the end of the day, what really happened there was just a bit of a misfight, I think, on the side of Playstomp, and half of Morales' mana gone. But still pretty okay. They still have that 1 level lead and looking at a close level 10 soon.
This is going to be intense. Detergents has to hesitate a little bit, has to keep the eyes wary as Playstomp is about to reach level 10. Pizza Xiao just going to be leading the front line a little bit louder, finding the correct opportunity as Meltis lands the shots, the autos, onto the Garrosh. And for now, they're playing quite passively. It's normal. It's level 10 time.
All right, Lauda looking for the window, but Crippling Spore just very effective. The slow going in, Meltis with the side stab against the Groundbreaker. Scarrick now pulling back once more. Some ribbons coming out. And, Risotto, bad spot. There goes the taunt, but the shield's already up. He was waiting for Risotto, now getting tossed back out. Look at that synergy from Playstomp. He figured it out. He really just read him like a book.
Beautiful there by Playstomp, and because of that perfect timing, Detergent still not level 10. They have to play this passively. They have to give away the beacon. It's going to be 100%. Lauda half HP, but that's no problem. TNK is just right at the side unless Lauda gets a little bit too greedy. They think that they want to get this, but look at that. Xcarrick goes back into the battle, scares them off away as Playstomp is 2 levels ahead.
I want to see level 10. From Detergents, because I know that's where their skills really unlock, where they're able to dive on the Morales. Morales is being a big problem right now. As you can see, without the medic, though, we still have the charge coming from Pizza Xiao already, looking for the portal, but does not click in. And Meltis taking a bit of a damage from the Zerg. With big one, they're going to have to pull back right about now. But like I was saying, level 10, it's being hit. The moment they clear this wave, you should be expecting a bit of a dive from Detergents.
Definitely. Look at that. We see Lunara holding on to her last heroic, decides to go with Thornwood Vines. It will help out definitely with the clear, with the AoE damage, but again, double support, good sustain from Playstomp. You have to clear this out. And meanwhile, it's still both of them up. Nice toss, polymorph, everything. Taunt, Aegis being activated there for Pizza Xiao, and the portal, everything to save a Nubarak.
Very nicely done. This leyline, though, it's a little bit questionable, but at the end of the day, I think that they expended all the skill set just to make sure that Pizza Xiao is going to die, but still great Aegis going down, great shield from Risotto. The moment he got clicked, the shield was already on him, and just flawless execution inside of Detergent just to make sure that the Anubarak does not die.
Yes, sirree. As Detergents managed to defend safely, no casualties whatsoever except structure damage. It is now 11 to 12 in terms of levels. Playstomp just doing and playing their comp right, finding that toss, especially onto Meltis. But then you can see that the key heroics have been used.
They're gonna fight. Seria's here. Melthil coming in. 20 seconds on the ley line. And Aegis is already up. This is the sign to go. And then we have the taunt on to Seria. Seria in a little bit of trouble, but the shield is already there. And also going to see the portal. Aegis comes up. Perez in a bit of a bad spot. He's going to be able to just stay alive there for Seria. Pizza Xiao already behind on the Bribing, dropping a lot of HP there. Will finally go to Lauda with a bit of into the fray, trying to keep the members alive. But Xcarrick with the strafe on the back line there. And Melthil going to town against him, but he picks off 1, 2, make it 3, as Pizza Cell is the sole survivor on the side of Detergents.
Oh my god, Xcarrick was just spinning around with the Morales fountain heal, and no one was there to bother her at all. It was just free hit strafe, and she was just dancing around, and then the next thing you know, 4 people are down from Detergents, and they immediately went towards the boss, and let's check out a replay.
I want to point out in the replay that there is no ley line. It was on the 25 seconds cooldown, and still Seta went in for the fight. Ley line would have been so effective if you just isolate the Morales and we're done. We're good. But no, look at Pizza Cell going in a cocoon onto Morales, and it is pretty effective, but Xcarrick knows exactly what's up. Melt is going to try and pick off the range damage dealer, but just too much damage. Lauda with a fantastic groundbreaker, and Xcarrick, at the end of the day, just with the cleanup.
Definitely. That was very well placed Earthquake as well. So for Playstomp, they managed to pull that off, get the boss, and Lauda is looking for it again. Gets denied by the detainment strike, but looks like they're going to be marching with the boss here as Detergents place defense once again. Beacons already up online.
All right, the chase on the Meltis. Meltis positioning not the best. The grenade does connect, and a bit of a nice bail out there from Lauda into the fray. It could be used to toss your ally backwards as well, guys. Don't be one-dimensional here. Boss is going to erase the fort. Also, Beacon at about 75% Riku.
Yes, sirree. Look at that taunt on towards Sediak here, but he's going to be pushing through. Root does not connect, but Earthquake being activated here. Lauda very low, flips 2 targets. Xcarrick again with a beautiful strafe. Hiskoa leading the front lines with the Tormented Souls. His target is Meltis, but will he be able to finish the kill? There he goes. There's the heal. Look at that. Sustain from Playstomp. 2 members fall.
I think it's a little bit of a miscom. You should cocoon Malthil. You should ley line the medic. Medic does not have any rave strike, no mobility whatsoever. You ley line Morales, you cocoon Malthil, and then you proceed to tear apart the Vala. I think there's only one way to play this kind of a dive comp, but they went for something a little bit different where we saw ley line connecting on an irrelevant target as well as cocoon on a medic. Then you have all of a sudden got to deal with Malthil. Remember, Tormented Souls, it still counts. Even if he's in cocoon, the timer continues on, and when he's out of the cocoon, Tormented Souls is already over. He loses a lot of sustain, loses the additional, I think, 15 armor as well. So that's exactly where I think Detergent's going to play a lot better. But Risotto now, trying to stack on his Master Touch. It is still at 18 as of now.
18 indeed, but look at that. 16 to 13 on the level scoreboard. But looks like the Zergs are about to be eliminated. Detergents will defend and live once again, but Playstomp is going to be playing this aggressively as they have the level lead.
I think the mistake here was just the execution. When you pick, a composition like Detergents one, where you have got the Medivh, you've got the Anup and Thrall, on paper, yes, you're well equipped to deal with the composition that Playstomp's playing, but you want to make sure that the execution is flawless. And so far, I've yet to see a very clean burst execution coming out from Detergents. They could be waiting for Master Touch. They could be waiting for Thrall. He's going to get a little bit extra power spike at 16, but we'll see how that works out. 4-man ley line. This is the moment. Medic needs to die, but still the Medic is alive, and you see the Emerald win. It's just going to be a disaster right now. Riku.
That was like the perfect setup for them, except that the Emerald one is there, the disengage is there, so it they weren't able to execute it because they lacked the talents as well. So it was really problematic. I feel like if they played it a little bit more patient, what do you think? They saw the opportunity, that's why they took it.
Well, some key questions. First and foremost, we actually have to see a replay to really understand why the burst wasn't there. Your heroes don't have burst from range, all right? Let's just face it. You have got sufficient amount of damage, but that is all more or less in the close range period when Thrall closes up the gap. But hold that thought, though. This is a defense. Okay, Lunar just died. That's it. But if you think about it, they don't really have to burst so early on, especially with Master Touch not completed, especially with Thrall not really going, not really closing the gap. Medivh with the flank on the ley line was good, except that I feel that although it covered 4 targets, when you don't have a dive like that, it's kind of tricky. It would be a lot better if you cover, say, 3 targets. We'll take a look at a replay.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if like there was a 4-man impale after the ley line expired or something.
I think it was split between targeting the Morales. Look at Pizza Xiao, all right? He's already there. He's already used a borrow charge. There was almost no follow-up on the impale there as well. The Cocoon does connect very nicely, and it got ignored for the most part, but they just played into an Emerald Wind. That is the biggest problem right
Yeah.
there. And I feel that they were not able to really do enough damage against the medic. Thrall was too far away. There was no portal. There was no gap closer. There was no. I don't know if Anubrak did use the borrow charge against
Yes.
the medic. That's a question that I think we need to see again. But regardless, they just don't have enough knockdown, don't have enough burst. And remember, ley line I think is just about 3 seconds, if I'm not wrong. So it's a short time. You catch 4 targets, fantastic, but a bit too soon.
Yes.
Allies not in the right place. Thrall didn't even wind up the hammer, so it's a bit of a problem.
Definitely, and Malthael did a huge amount of damage on that fight. Even though they got the cocoon onto the Vala, Tormented Souls definitely decimated them.
Yeah, it's just like the fact that even if you think about Void Prison is something that I think lasts around 4 seconds, if I'm not wrong. And Leyline is just a little bit lesser than that. So it's a very challenging play, really. Not the kind of play I envision, because I kind of want Medivh to bring in, the whole package.
Yeah.
But the way Risotto played was like, he ley line from the vents, which, is a good ley line. But what would have been a lot better is if he flew directly on top of the camp, ley line from another direction, opens up the portal, Thralls all of a sudden directly in front of Morales. The burst is right there. Earthquake's also possible to be used. And then you're going to be worried about the Emerald Wind. The key question here is, why was the Cocoon not used on the Bright Wing? Post fight there. You can also use it on the Malthael, but if you're going in so tight, Bright Wing's the other alternative.
Yes.
Earlier on, we had the explanation where Cocoon should be on the Malthael, but that's because Malthael is trying to push out Lunara, is trying to push out and sustaining through a lot of targets. But this time round, when you're coming in as one unit, you want to make sure that the biggest displacement skill on that side, which would be ironically the Emerald Wind,
Yes.
that gets removed. And you also have to play around Warlord's challenge. Right off the bat, Detergents, they picked a draft that I felt was a little bit too fancy, was very hard to pull off compared against the one that Playstomp had.
Yeah, you had to require a lot of communication and picking up the right targets for your heroics, but it is still game number 1. Game number 2, again, is where it's at. It's going to be do or die, definitely. Detergents, again, with the weakness of playing from behind. If they don't get what they want during the early phases of the game, they struggle out a lot. And again, just as you said, the composition that they drafted is a little bit harder to pull off as well, especially against the composition of Playstomp earlier. They really knew their strengths. They had the right targets. They picked off the right targets, and they keep finding these opportunities. They did not stop pressuring Detergents there.
They did not. And this reminds me of, if you want to play Medivh really well, one particular player, I think Glaurang, he played Medivh really, really well in the NA, and he's also proven that a team like B-Step were individually very accomplished previously, with this team called B-Step. Individually accomplished high-level players have the capability to play around portals. We did not see that in this game from Detergents. What we saw was an attempt at a team fight, an attempt at splitting the team fight, an attempt at saving people more than dealing damage. And that in itself is a big problem. Also brings back the question, if you're going to pick Thrall, you're going to lose the lane against Malthael. And, I have to see the whole replay, the whole game, to find out how did Thrall lose the fight against Malthael. Then it really doesn't bring about any value. You lose control of the top beacon. You don't really have much. The main purpose of Thrall there was extra damage, winning the lane against Malthael. But if you don't accomplish winning the lane, you lose beacons in the early game, and that's going to be an easy snowball for Playstomp, and that's exactly what we witnessed here in the first game. I can only hope that the next map, which I have no information what it is just yet, will be to the favor of Detergents. They are more well organized. I think on bigger
Yes.
maps like we've seen them play Inferno Shrines. We've
Yes.
seen them play Cursed Hollow. I would love to see them play those maps where they are, more in control compared to the smaller ones here.
Definitely, because what we saw from Detergents is that they have a good idea, but just as you said from earlier about the Medivh, they played it quite linear in a way that they only got it because just to counter the Garrosh. But Medivh has so much potential for their composition, and they weren't able to utilize it well. But again, we're going to be heading over to our game number 2 soon, not just yet. But I really would love to see them again in Infernal Shrines, and they seem to favor the Anubarak a lot, but looks like they are going to Infernal Shrines for
Can you
game number
give me
2.
4 digits right now so that I can
Four
make
digits?
it big in my real life? All right, Inferno Shrines. But do note that this map was being picked by Playstomp, not by Detergents. They went for first pick, given the fact that they lost the first game. But here, it's a little bit tricky because Detergents strike me as a team that when they're on a roll, they look really good. But the
Yes.
moment they suffer a loss, how's their mental state going to be like? We've got very vocal players in Detergents. Satya, Pizza Xiao, and even Kinky Fairy, Risotto. They're all kind of vocal. Risotto, I think, is the least vocal out of the 4 of them. But the other 3, they are, wrestling for control, if you will, in the way that the draft goes, in the way that the game is being played. They are all veterans of the scene. Just a little bit unfortunate that they sometimes opinions may differ. And this is a team that if they have a differing opinion, the morale is really low. But if they all agree on the same thing, well, okay, maybe that can work. Also, key question here is in Inferno Shrines, are we going to see another respect ban on Stitches? We've seen Pizza Xiao having insane success on Sky Temple against Resurgence. It's the game that they completely dominated Resurgence, and he was on Stitches. Are we going to see Stitches again here? Beats me.
I have a feeling they're not going to allow that again. But the popular picks for, both of these teams, definitely the Lunara again. But one thing that I just remembered from yesterday's match on Detergents from yesterday is they played the Tyrande here. They played the Gul'dan here
They did.
on Infernal Shrines, and they won that against Corgi Breadloaf.
However, that may not be an option because yesterday's games we had Mordred playing for Detergents.
True.
Today we've got Meltis, and so far we've only seen him on Lunara. We've not seen him on any other hero, so we'll have to see if that's an option. But Setya, he plays a really nasty Gul'dan, but I have a feeling that he's playing the melee flex role in this current roster compared to Meltis, who is playing the range damage dealer. So we'll have to see, really. But Playstomp, again, happy birthday, Xcarrick. This could be a birthday present right here.
Exactly. Whoever
I do hope that they are able to take down Detergents.
Detergents.
And also being able to take down Daily Cadence
Yes.
and to finally face off against Resurgence in the grand finals. That I think is a personal, we could say, goal for me.
Goal for you.
Yeah, because I believe in Playstomp. I do. Yeah, this is a team that I think has got a lot of potential. Also because of the fact that, if you've been around in the scene long enough, you would know that the Thai scene has been steadily declining until we saw Lauda come
Lauda.
back. So
Yeah.
this is why I hope that it's gonna really pay off for this team.
Definitely such an exciting match because whoever wins this, Playstomp is just one win away from facing Deadly Kittens on the finals,
Lower brackets finals.
lower
yeah.
bracket finals. Yes, sirree. So, again, this is Infernal Shrines. Both of these teams play really well, but it is very obvious for, Detergents that they're struggling a little bit on towards this series. They're not quite sure how they're going to be, coming back up from this. But again, game number 2, reset everything.
Yeah.
Relax, because we might see another game 3. It has been a trend for this competition, for this tournament.
It's also a trend that if there's a 3-game series, whoever wins the first one will lose the series.
I did not notice that.
We have had 3 cases of that so far. So
Interesting. Is this a combo breaker?
We'll see. Combo breaker. But I'm excited because I think if Detergents are watching the stream now, they shouldn't be. But if they are, one advice to them is to stick to their guns. They are very, very strong players. Don't play fancy stuff. This tournament does not allow the luxury of playing fancy stuff. And you can tell that Playstomp is very comfortable with that garage. Here we go. Game number 2 draft in Inferno Shrines. Detergents with the first pick. Playstomp having to react. You can expect an Illidan or Genji ban.
Definitely. Tassadar has always also been a priority ban in this series. We'll see. I mean, Genji is usually the first one to go, where they want to take it out of the map right away. They first banned Genji yesterday against CBL. So we'll see. They also banned out Sonya on the second rotation.
Yeah.
So,
But Corgi is a very different team from Playstomp. And that's Hiskoa to worry about. Hiskoa is the playmaker for Playstomp. He's done a great job so far in day number 2 of the HGC Southeast Asian Road to Blizzcon qualifier. So I do hope that they do consider that. The other alternative here is that they had Oriel in the first game. Oriel was not much of an impact hero there. They are going to ban out the Oriel. Looking to change things up. Risotto plays Genji as well. If they ban Oriel here, it only means one thing. You don't ban Genji, I'm going to pick it up.
uh-oh, what's Playstomp going to ban? Last time it was Stitches that they took off the table, but Tassadar instead, that means Genji's open.
Please, prove me right.
Genji's open. Genji's open.
It's the only reason. But but again, you got to think about it. Inferno Shrines, big battleground. I know Genji, they can play this hero a lot, but big battleground, Genji don't really excel. Genji excels in skirmishes like Dragon Shire, Tomb of the Spider Queen, a little bit on Tomb of the Spider Queen. I would prefer to see him on specifically Dragon Shire, but here, I mean, it's possible he can change lanes very fast,
True.
but it's a little bit too big. You cannot cover all 3 lanes. You can only cover 2 lanes. And that's a thought here for Detergents. Do they want to have that Genji on Risotto?
Would you rather have it be an Illidan? They do play Illidan.
They do. No, I will never first pick Illidan.
True.
Too many counters, too many options for Playstomp to consider. I think Genji would be my pick personally.
I'm really curious about this one.
Okay.
Right! Stitches, how could we forget about that?
We spoke about this before the game. We talked about the fact that they are likely to deny Stitches from Pizza Xiao. And as you can see here, we're going to first pick Stitches. We don't care.
Yeah.
You want a Genji, whatever. We'll let Pizza play his best hero. And I hope that his gamble pays off for Detergents. They are currently down 0-1. And they are also having the tournament life on the line.
Definitely a lot on the line here. Playstomp, this draft is very intense for both of these teams. They have a similar pool. They can deny each other of picks. And meanwhile, I remembered from last time, they really prioritized, picking the Vala for the early rotations for Playstomp. But we'll see. I mean, Lunara's still on the table. And we'll find out. Cheerio.
I like this. Lauda plays a good Tyrael. Uther as
Uther,
well.
not
All right.
revealing too much.
This is how I read this situation here. The main reason why Lunara and Vala wasn't being picked up by Detergents was because, they can't possibly have both of them. So letting Playstomp choose one, I think, is okay. They are confident with either Lunara or Vala. Although it's been shown that today they do prefer Lunara over Vala. And on the side of Playstomp, the reason why they picked up Uther primarily is we've seen this against Deadly Heathens, where they went for Divine Storm. They call it the anti-Genji
Anti-Genji comp.
technology.
All right.
Yeah, Divine Storm, the Genji, when he Dragon Blades in, he is date meat. There's also the Tyrael with Sanctification, so they are just picking reactively against Genji comps. But Detergents, they have got the Stitches. This is their moment, man. If you want to go Lunara, Genji, I think this is good. Alternatively, you may also want to consider... Okay,
Lunara,
no,
Malthael.
they want Malthael.
All right.
That's fine. Malthael also hotly contested from day 1.
Yeah.
So no, Genji, he made it through.
He made it through. Looks like no one wants to touch Genji just yet. But with Playstomp, there's more room to actually decide on what damage dealers they want to take, because Detergents already revealed theirs, and they're still lacking a healer. they're still lacking the really solid front line unless they're already satisfied with Stitches. Because if, as far as I know, they had a composition where they were already satisfied with Stitches as their, bruiser or their front line, if you will.
I like the Rega ban. This severely limits the hero pool for Detergents. I think that if you have Lunara being played by Meltis, then it's still okay. But if you have Meltis play support, that's not an option. Genji getting banned here is okay, but like what Jha was mentioning throughout the stream on both days, Genji, there are certain battlegrounds that he really excels at. Inferno Shrine's not really one of them. So banning Genji here is an option. This only means that Playstomp's going to look towards an Illidan, which is a possibility. Let's see what other options are there. I would actually prefer to ban the Haka.
The Haka instead, but they went for the Genji.
Yeah.
But
the onus is on Playstomp to decide who is going to play solo lane against Malthael. And there's a couple of options. The Haka is one of them. He's not going to win the lane, but he can at least soak quite well. Join team fight a lot faster than Malthael. Big battleground, remember.
Yes.
Global, very important. So I will ban out the Haka compared to Genji, but it's over. It's Genji.
over. It's over. But looking at their support pool for Detergents, so far, they've only, in terms of like qualifiers in day one, I've only seen them play like Malfurion. Rhaegar is banned. Tassadar is banned. Uther is actually being taken out of the table because it's already at Playstomp side. So I kind of wonder, or kind of worry for Detergents on what else they're comfy with in terms of the support pool. You were right. They are actually just trying to choke them in terms of what other options they're going to be comfy with.
Get the Brightwing. Get the Brightwing, get a global. Or the Haka, another global. Probably pick up the Vala here. No, okay, going Greymane, that's fine as well, but they will go for the Brightwing for the global. Also because, we've seen, this is quite hard to pull off, but if you've got Brightwing Tyrael, you can actually phase shift. Tyrael uses Q, Eldrin Smite over. Brightwing lands beautifully in the middle of team, uses Emerald Wind, and you split the fight. It's very effective against a comp like Stitches that really needs to stick together. Greymane is consistent burst damage dealer there, so no complaints. And for Detergents now, they're not going to be worried about Vala anyway, because they already have the Lunara. The other realistic option here is to go for another support, which they're realistically left with Malfurion.
Yeah, solo lane Malthael. So
or Lucio.
Lucio is an option. We haven't seen, you're right, we haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him on qualifiers either. I think he wasn't picked at all on the pool of the people that are competing. So that is, Malfurion is open. Lucio, wow. They've got both.
Prophet Babel.
Prophet Babel, indeed.
No one saw that Lucio coming. Anyway.
Yep.
Malfurion and Lucio, very, very comfortable picks for Detergents. Like I said, stick to the guns. This comp does not work, but it will be the last pick Illidan for his score. We all already know that. Yeah. Again, they don't really have the big bailouts because Uther's already gone. Browning's also gone. No Emerald Wind whatsoever. Personally, still favor Playstomp's draft. Although I called out the Lucio, I called out the Malfurion, but that's only because I know that they are confident playing those heroes. Just so you guys know also, right now we are in the lower bracket semi-finals where we're playing for third place and above. And the loser of this series will be eliminated from this tournament to be walking home with $1,500 US. Winner will be guaranteed 2,000. So,
wow,
money on the line, pride on the line, Blizzcon on the line. As we go into the possible last match of this series here, Playstomp looking so good. Hiskoa, Illidan. If I can put Hiskoa face on a hero, it's the Illidan. So
yes.
We will see what kind of answer we will have. Maybe you're gonna have Gorge.
Maybe have Gorge. Lucio movement speed. Amp it up.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We will now go into game number 2 on Inferno Shrines on the blue team. Detergents, and they are represented by Pizza Cell playing the Stitches, Meltis on the Lunara, Kink on the Malfurion, Sedia will be playing as the Lucio, and Malthael is going to be played by The last player right there, and it looks like it is Risotto. I knew it.
Playstomp on the red side. We got Xcarrick on the gray main, Perez on the bright wing, TNK on the Uther, Loda, they're doing this on purpose, Loda on the Tyrael, and Illidan, his Skoa.
All right. I heard a thunderous roar. Scares me. That's it. Detergents versus Playstomp. Right off the bat, if you want to talk about early game strategy, I would say that Detergents should have a bit of a lead there. They got that hook in the root. They got a bit of a sustained damage coming out. They also got the little, bloop, as they call it, Overwatch?
The boop.
The boop.
The boop,
okay.
yep.
That is, it's a pushback, all right,
yes.
guys? Nothing. Please don't let your imagination go too wild, but it's a little pushback from Lucio.
Yes, it is. This composition, looking at the Illidan from Playstomp and looking at Detergents with the Malfurion actually reminds me of the match we had last time where, Metamorphoses are on the hunt into like the 4 people, 5 people, and then you just clicks Twilight Dream and then Illidan can't escape anymore. That's an option that they could do just in case, they try to be a little bit aggressive. But if Tyrael isn't affected by the silence whatsoever, there's still the Sanctification, there's a lot, there's still the Divine Shield, there's still the Emerald Wind. We'll see.
It's easy to play around the Twilight Dream if you have got a Bright Wing and Uther to support. I think that Divine Shield, it's about timing. It's about timing, and his Goa now a little bit of trouble. Perez gonna be there. His Goa still going ham. Still has got a Reaper's Mark on him. He thinks he can take the fight. He thinks he can take the fight. He goes in. This is why his Goa in real life looks like an Illidan.
I have to see his Goa's picture later. I'm kidding.
It's kind of cute. Level 3 and the first blood going towards Playstomp. TNK taking a little bit of a beating. You can tell for sure that Playstomp must be feeling pretty good about it. Top Shrine, no Malthael, and the rest of Detergents now having to rotate up to all the way across 2 lanes. Not going to be easy.
The timing of that death on towards Malthael, he definitely challenged that one. Rely too much on the heal of the Lucio as 4 members from both of these teams rotate up. Sedia being the first target there by the leap coming from the Playstomp team. Loda just gonna back away. TNK gonna walk casually out of there as this is gonna be a clash. His Skoa just gonna keep leaping out to safety and it's gonna be A-okay.
Shout out to Risotto, very good rage strike there. Also just applying Reaper's Mark whenever he can. But that said, Playstomp ready for the re-engage. His Goa taking a little bit of extra skeletal defenders right at the top side of the shrine. Melty is now in a little bit of trouble. But his Goa still darting around. His Risotto on the flip side though does go with Rage Strike onto Xcarrick. Xcarrick taking a bit of a damage there, but still the Grey Mane going in, and it looks like Melty is getting punished. But beats us out with those body blocks coming into play. Double support on the side of Playstomp, so they're going to be able to keep that alive. But the hook on Lauda, and this is why you ban the Stitches, but still no kills just yet. Lauda dropping really low. Meltis going in, right click's going down. TNK pulling out.
Wow, the hesitation there. I actually could imagine Meltis and then Sedia switching to the movement speed. Nice hook there onto his Goa, but he's an Illidan. He can just dash away out of danger. But this time around, it is the control of Detergents here as they rack up more skeletal prisoners.
Very, very respectable positioning coming out from Detergents. Of course, when you saw Risotto in critical condition, they were just pulling back, making sure that he gets whatever coverage he can. The root there, locking in TNK. All of a sudden, you see the red team jumping on to Detergents as they pull right back. Once again, Xcarrick overextending a little bit. Remember, the heals have to be timed. Perez now pulling back. Lauda taking a bit of a damage. His squad going in once more. And the sustained healing not really strong. They do have a Lucio, but it's kind of slow stage. His Goa now gonna be fine. Again, Risotto just switching sides. Risotto dropping really low. Lauda with the last right click. Little Arcane Flare will pick off the target. As Lauda now dropping, goes in looking for the burst. Xcarrick too close to the tower, will go down. Also, Meltis gets erased from the burst of the Archangel's Wrath. As it is now 3 versus 3.
Wow, that assist though, but his Goa still not going to be stopping as he dives into King, who's lacking mana. Sedia will also try to help out as his Goa and Perez are the only ones left here at the top side, with Playstomp's going to be rejoining them slowly but surely. But 30 already here for their stacks. They might be able to get this Punisher, but Playstomp still might hesitate a little bit on contesting this.
They have to go in right now. No option. And Punisher's already going to change sights. And can they get at least one target? Pizza Xiao, a little bit isolated in the background, but the jump is going to happen anytime soon. His score going to be careful. Nope, it's going to jump on the TNK, the back line there. As Meltis takes a bit of a beating from the Illidan. Illidan again, man. TNK completely out of position for the kill. And Lauda now pulling back once more. There is a Punisher. This is the 6 versus 5. I repeat, it is unfair. Don't take this fight.
Oh, Sedia chasing down Lauda. It's alright.
Seda doing Seda stuff. He's not going to be able to kill that hero anyway. And I think the well is still up. Nice bait over the bottom side from Playstomp. So as long as the healing well is still okay, I think they should be in a good spot. TNK looking for the stun. Does not get it.
Definitely. Well played there by Playstomp, denying most of, what could have been worst for that first Punisher on Detergent's side. But I really like this composition from Detergents where they pair it up with the Lunara with the movement speed from Lucio. That's why I like Lucio. You can switch it up. When is the best time to go movement speed? When is the best time to go switch it up to the heals? So later on, I'm really looking forward to, it is unstoppable. If Playstomp gets the lower end in terms of the initial exchange in the clash, then Detergents can keep going and going, and they can actually keep repositioning themselves with the movement speed. But then again, level 10, I'm really looking forward to what heroics they're going to be picking, as this is Playstomp's crucial time. They might 2-0 Detergents, but again, level 9 for Detergents on their side with one level ahead.
They do have a touch of death on Malthil. That's going to really impact the amount of heal potential from the Uther onto his Koa. That's something that I think the Illidan needs to be aware of. And that's it. Perez now a little bit of trouble. There goes the pushback, the bloom as you call it. And Risotto still going to the right click. Perez now trying to run away. Will be able to do so successfully to the bottom side of the map. Nope. Oh, he went to Illidan mid side. Okay, so still very, very nicely done, as both teams inch towards level 10.
Yeah, everything just fits for Detergent side. Malthil can get his autos in whenever he's with the Lucio, can stick to the targets very well. Meltis, on the other hand, getting a little bit of choke damage, but Kink is just right there. But the camp has been acquired, as level 10 is already for both teams.
Okay, so here we go. Heroics are online. Nothing too fancy. It is not a Divine Storm, it's the Divine Shield. And we also have the Sound Barrier for Lucio.
Yes.
Leaping Strike on Lunara. And yep, very, very standard stuff. That's it. Shrines are now activated, Riku.
Here we go, 7-4. They're still busy, but Detergents tries to hook in a target. Playstomp just looking for it at this point. Lauda with the Eldoran's Might. There we go, Sound Barrier being activated. Leap onto Meltis. That is the Sanctification being used. Pizza Sao uses the Putrid Bile just for the disengage and try to wreak havoc. They're focusing on the Stitches. They're able to eliminate him, as Risotto is super low. Lauda goes in back again. 1-for-1 so far, but the fight is not over.
Perfectly done by Lauda, but at what cost though? 2 to 3 members already down, and it's currently 3-for-1 exchange in favor for Detergents. Risotto now going in again, does not land a Reaper's Mark, so no Rave Strike there. And just to break it down what happened, that was really flawless execution from the Sanctification. King immediately used Twilight Dream, but they had that invulnerability right there, so they were all fine. However, the main question there was, when you add a Lunara with a Malthil, that's just too much damage over time. Emerald Wind wasn't used. I would have loved it if it was used at the bottom area. That would have at least allowed them to pick up at least one more kill before dropping like that. But that, again, is Perez. He needs to make a better call right there.
Definitely. They would have bought more time keeping that Emerald Wind for later, as Excarric will leap to Meltis. Look at that damage, but Lauda is going to Eldoran's Might there. He's just going to block its path as his Skoa goes on the hunt, secures the kill.
Very nice pickoff. That kind of secured a little bit more EXP for Playstomp. They did not lose the fort at the bottom lane, although it is very, very low right now. Perez, you know, it's just sad that they picked a global like Bright Wing up against the Melfield, but we'll see. We have a replay, so let's pull that out.
We'll check out what happened there from earlier in the fight. So I'm pretty sure they were very busy. Oh,
This was
Leyline.
a replay of the last game. All right, there we go. And you can see Ball being used. The damage onto Pizza Xiao. You don't really want to burst down the damage, but look at Perez. This is the moment he should have used the Emerald win. But regardless, he took too much damage of time. Lauda also dropping there. One support down, TNK. I think was not able to sustain the heal. You do have Fear the Reaper, which I think increases the movement speed as well. And you have Touch of Death, which primarily denies a lot of heal from the target. Very, very dangerous position for Playstomp to be in.
Yeah, looks like this composition is working for Detergents. A lot of sustain for both Risotto and Lunara, keeping them alive, keeping sustained damage on towards the team fight. Playstomp did manage to eliminate the Stitches, but after that, they were pretty much unhealthy after that fight, which puts Malthael and Lunara doing cleanup duty. So with that said, they're going to be securing camps for now, even already on levels. And Brightwing has to deal with this camp, but it's okay. She has a camp with her as well.
All right, so Risotto, gotta be fine. The engagement that you saw just now with the Han onto Malfurion, that's not gonna work anymore. He's already level 13. He picked up Ice Block, so now if a Han's coming in, he's just gonna click Ice Block and then gonna press Twilight Dream the moment it ends. Then we have the Han on the Sienna. Sienna is in a lot of trouble. The Sanctification also gonna come out. King now trying to pull back. And is dropping solo. Xcarrick looking for the cocktail. Oh, and it connects. Malfurion does go down. And on the flip side, Risotto popping the Tormented Soul, trying to stay alive. Pulling back once more. Lauda wants blood, and he gets it. 2, 3, 4. Let's make it Mumbo number 5 as Detergents is all 5 men down.
Killer combination from Playstomp. Very, very wise in heroic rotations. They first use the Sanctification, and then after that, Divine Shield. It's perfect, and look at how healthy this team is with only the Lucio just right there, and a camp marching towards the bot side. No contesting whatsoever. They will clear this Punisher, this Shrine up real nice without anyone to bother them from Detergents, but all back are online right now.
So what we saw just now was Han not used on Malfurion, but on the Lucio instead. He should have just, when you hear Illidan screaming, you are not prepared. You just press R. It's as simple as that. Use the sound barrier, you will not have a second opportunity. So just use it, stay alive, take the fight there. Wait for Sanctification to be over, you have extra HP, you have Butcher Ball, you gotta take the fight slow. Once Sanctification is over, boom, Twilight Dream.
Exactly. You're right. They could amp it up with the movement speed, wait for the Sanctification. They have that room of actually repositioning themselves first. But look at this. Look at this. All right, I think they're waiting patiently.
This is the famous Thai, potty bush. Even in Team League, QM, when I play against them, this always happens.
Oh my.
First-hand experience, guys. So don't walk into anybody.
It's very tilting.
We're never against these players.
Oh well, but look at that. Playstop marching already into the base. I can feel it. Stunning the Stitches right there, forcing them back to the base. Nicely done. Playstomp has opened the gates. Meltis very low.
Okay, Hana, then we have the Ice Block, Twilight Dream, oh, perfectly done! And also gonna see the Sound Barrier coming up, Lauda already so far in front, the Divine Shield being used, they don't have any more fail safe, this is the moment to go in, but they're looking for the hook, Pizza Cell looking to connect on one target, nice holy ground by Lauda, it's gonna buy them some time. Meltis still with the slow crippling spores going in. Once more they want to take the fight a bit too far. Sanctification does connect. King now pulling back. Risotto applying those Reaper Smock, staying alive, and a hook on the Lauda once again. Lauda looking to drop really soon. Leaping strike. Tyrael does go down. Second one. If Meltis got a second charge, but oh man, 4-man burst. That's a lot of damage. Now Stitch is looking for a hook, but oh, Xcarrick out of nowhere. Came in, go for the throat, and 3 members just died like that. Put in some razor swipe. This is what happens when you forget that the Angel of Justice can burst in your face. And again, looking like it's a 5-man wipe. No, King's still alive. Nice route there. Whew, so close.
That was amazing. They definitely baited that out. They knew how to play with the chase. Detergents so comfy about that chase. Assumed that Playstomp would just take it, but then again they retaliated And job well done. Because of that, they're actually knocking at the core. Kink doing his best on the defense.
All right, there is an Illidan there. Perez with a very nice Emerald win. Illidan knocking. And this is why you don't play with birthday boys on their birthday.
Birthday buffs indeed. My God.
At 10% reaction speed, at 10% right click APM. You're kidding me, man. Xcarrick was waiting for it. They knew that there was sanctification. They knew that they had to take the fight, but it wasn't about the sanctification. It was about what happened. Why did 4-man absorb Tyrell's burst?
Yes.
It's a big mistake. Should not have happened. I was looking at Malthus in that fight. I was wondering, why would you walk so close? You got one kill. You could have gone back. You don't have to go for another. Yes, Pizza Xiao is in a good position for a hook, but the way that they advanced was like, you know what? This is the train. This is the ride. I'm just going to step on it and go together. We do have a replay of the last fight. We're going to bring it up, show you guys, and tell you, what exactly could have been done better.
They really underestimated the damage there. Lada, you can see Holy Ground being placed right there. Leaping Strike, Meltis landing on the hurt. And they were just like, okay, we're going to run straight. It's fine. They're just going to be retreating anyways. And everybody just explodes from the damage from Xcarrick.
Respect the Greymane.
Respect.
Go for the throat, razor swipe. He took out 3 targets by himself. And that's insane. And at the same time, you had no entangling root. The reaction there from King, I think it was on cooldown. A little bit unfortunate, but that won them the game. Xcarrick, man. That's why when you see, now you can see why I'm excited about his team.
Yes.
We talked about Detergents. We talked about them, nearly winning Resurgence, but we have not seen Playstomp play against Resurgence yet, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Of course, there's still Daily Kittens in the middle.
Yes.
Not to discount them, but yesterday's games were so close. 2-1 in favor for Daily Kittens. Today, I think Xcarrick and Playstomp is riding on a momentum. They are unstoppable.
Yeah, they're feeling good about it. They've got the tempo. They got the rhythm for this tournament. Coming from the lowers bracket, they're gonna be going up against Deadly Kittens, who was the previous representative for
defending
champions for SEA. So I'm really, really hyped for that.
Yeah, Playstomp, the honor train. Let's hope it's got no breaks and goes all the way. That's it. We are more or less completed with this series, and shout outs to Detergents for taking part in the Road to BlizzCon, Kink, Risotto, as well as Meltis, Pizza, Modred, and last but not least, I think Setia, nearly forgot him. He is more than happy to play for this tournament, and of course, they will be walking home with 1,500 USD. And I do hope that this team stays together, as what usually is the case is that you have veterans just trying to form teams for tournaments. But in order to level up the play, you need to be consistent, and having regular team is a first step in the right direction. We hope to see them again in 2018. That said, stream is still not over. We have with us the lower bracket finals coming up. Daily Kittens, your defending champions, up against Playstomp Gaming, the #1 underdog in this tournament. We'll be back shortly.